look at this bowl of longevity. The longest living family in the world apparently eats this soup for lunch every single day, and it happens to be basically vegan. So we're gonna have to make it today because I wanna live long and healthy. Hi guys, it's Rose and welcome back to Cheap Lazy Vegan and another recipe video. Today you guys, we are taking more inspiration from the Blue Zone diet, okay? From the Blue Zones. If you don't know, these Blue Zones are areas of the world where people tend to live longer and healthier lives. These areas of the world have the highest concentration of centenarians, which are people that live past 100 years old. Okay, these people are living long and also very healthy and happy lives. And one of those blue zones is Sardinia, Italy. Okay, if you guys want to learn more about blue zones, there is a documentary or a docu-series on Netflix that talks about each blue zone and the characteristics that define the blue zones, and it's very fascinating. I'll talk about it more after we make this soup because I think it's really interesting. In Sardinia, Italy, my friends, the world's longest living family, and it is the Melis family. I'm sorry if I'm saying that wrong. In 2012, apparently, they were named the world's oldest siblings, okay, in the Guinness World Records. They have a combined age of 861. These are 9 Melis siblings. They believe that dining on Sardinian Minestrone help them achieve their great ages. Okay, so the Sardinia Minestrone. Okay, you guys have heard of minestrone soup. Okay, you've all heard of the minestrone soup. It is an Italian soup. There's beans in there, there's veggies in there, it's a tomato base. It's delicious, and I think there's like so many different ways of making it. And we're gonna try making it this sort of Sardinia way, obviously with my twist to make it easier, all that stuff, okay? We're gonna make it today, we're gonna try it today, and hopefully we can all live super long and healthy lives, okay? Okay. Speaking of health and longevity, it is very important to make sure that we are meeting our vitamin requirements and that we are not deficient, my friends, okay? So one thing that is a regular part of my routine is taking my vitamins. There are certain vitamins that may be hard to get just from a plant-based diet alone, even if it is very well planned. So this is why I'm partnering up with Complement to bring you guys Complement Essential, okay? This is the multivitamin made for and by plant-based eaters. So if you are following a mostly plant-based or fully plant-based diet, definitely consider getting some Complement Essential, because these here are the vitamins that may be difficult to get even if you follow a really well-planned plant-based diet. It's basically a great way to help make sure that you are meeting your nutrient requirements. Complement is focused on plant-based nutrition, so you know this is specifically designed for you. You can get 15% off with my code CheapLazyVegan. And speaking of longevity, another product that I'd love to highlight is the Complement Creatine. Guys, have you heard of the benefits of creatine? Because there's a lot. I know that creatine is really heavily discussed in fitness circles, but it has so many benefits, even if you're not like a huge gym goer or anything like that. Longevity, energy, brain health, muscle growth, reproductive health. Complement has it. And again, you can get 15% off your order using my code CheapLazyVegan. So check out their products. They also have protein powders. They've got greens powders. So many awesome products designed for plant-based health. Check it out, you guys. Once again, the code is CheapLazyVegan to get 15% off your order. Links are below. As always, guys, the written recipe will be in a blog post. Link down below. The first thing I did was actually prepare the veggie broth. Now, I sometimes do this, especially when I'm making a big pot of soup. What I do is I take the scraps, okay, from onions, carrots, and celery, and you can do this throughout the week as well and just like save your scraps. Take the scraps, wash them obviously, and then boil it in water for about 20 minutes. I bring it to a boil and then I simmer it for about 20 minutes. And then that makes a nice no sodium vegetable broth. And that's really gonna help kind of enhance and deepen the flavors of your soup. So I already have this like thing of veggie broth that is prepared for me, and this is gonna deepen the flavor, okay? Oof. So I already have that, that's the first step. So the next step is to dice your veggies, okay? Now I'm gonna show you the easiest way to do this, which is what I'm gonna do, which is use a food processor, okay? So what I have here is some onion and garlic, and I also have some celery and carrot, okay? So I did chop it up into chunks, but I didn't dice it because since we're dicing and making quite a bit, we're gonna use the food processor and just make it easier, okay? So into the food processor, I think we're just gonna start with the onion and garlic. So we'll just chuck that in, peeled onion and peeled garlic, and I cut the onion into chunks, and then we're just going to use the food processor, and it's gonna take 2 seconds, let me show you. So we're just gonna chop. See, that's all you need. And now we have diced onion and diced garlic, or minced garlic. Oof, how can something so stinky taste so good? I don't understand. And now we're gonna do the same thing with the celery and carrot. Can I fit it all? I think I can do it. There you go, it's that easy. It's that easy, friends, okay? And now we have some lovely diced veg. Super simple. And again, you can do this in bulk, okay? You can freeze the soup as well to enjoy later. I would probably eat this for breakfast. I don't know, I just feel like it's a nice breakfast. But apparently, the family eats it for lunch every day. Apparently they have it with some sourdough bread, which obviously love, and a glass of red wine. That's their little secret. Sourdough bread, minestrone soup, and a glass of red wine. How amazing. We are now ready to make the soup. So first, we're gonna get a big pot. I'm using a wok. Don't know where my pot went. Using a wok or a big pot, preferably a pot. Anyways, we're gonna add a little oil, okay? Probably olive oil. I currently have avocado oil, okay? But you know, Italians, probably olive oil, whatever, okay? Anyways, we're gonna heat up some oil, and then we're gonna start by sauteing the onion and garlic mixture. Get that nice and fragrant. So I'm gonna saute for about a minute or so. Now let's add the carrot and celery mixture. Very finely diced carrot and celery. Cook this again for about a couple minutes. And now you guys, we can basically add the majority of the ingredients. So we're gonna start with some diced tomato. Basically a big can of diced or crushed or whatever tomato. Okay, we're gonna add that in here. Oof. Now we're gonna add the star of the show, the beans, okay? I think what makes this like a Sardinian style minestrone is that they use 3 different kinds of beans. I'm using chickpeas here, so let's add some chickpeas. These are canned beans, by the way. A lot of recipes I saw were using like dry beans and cooking it all from scratch. And I know, okay, because I know me and I know you. Ain't nobody got time, okay? We are not living in the beautiful area of Sardinia, Italy. Jobs, we got bills, we got things to do. Majority of you will probably not cook your beans from scratch. So we're gonna use canned beans. So I used some canned chickpeas. We're also gonna add some canned pinto beans, okay? Are these pinto beans? Yeah, pinto? You can kind of use whatever beans you want to add, okay? Pinto beans, there's other kinds of beans. Next, I actually found a bean medley, if you will. Okay, this is a 3-bean mix. So if you wanted to, you could probably just buy 3 cans of the 3-bean mix. Anyways, this is a mixture of beans. Not really sure what's in here. It looks like kidney beans. There's, I don't know, okay? 3 cans of beans. As you can see here, we've got a full pot here. Now I'm thinking, I wish I had my big pot that I don't know where it is. This is gonna overflow. Oh, Lord Jesus. Okay, well, we're just gonna go with it. And now we're also gonna add some potatoes. These are just peeled and, you know, nicely chopped potatoes. And now we're gonna add in the veggie broth. Remember that broth that I made earlier? We're gonna add that in. Now, I'm not gonna add the whole thing because I feel like it's gonna overflow. I think what I'm gonna do, you guys, because this pot is too small for all this, we're gonna do a little thing here. We're gonna take some of this, make it in 2 separate ones, okay? Because this is not ideal. Now, if I had my big Dutch oven, which I think is at my parents' house, I could just use that, okay? But I don't have it, so this is like a bit of a, Anyway, yeah, that'll work. So if your pot is too small, do it in 2 separate pots, okay? All right, you guys, so I now have this pot that's a little bit more reasonable. Okay, we got a reasonable amount here. We're just gonna cook that thing separately. Okay, crisis averted. Now we're gonna add a vegetable bouillon cube. Like I mentioned, this veggie broth is no sodium. We're still gonna add the vegetable bouillon cube because it's gonna add flavor. Now I might need to add 2. I think I'm gonna add 2, yeah. We're gonna add 2 because we want lots of flavor. There's a lot of liquid here. So, here we go. So we've added the vegetable bouillon, which is gonna add a nice flavor. We're also gonna add some Italian seasoning. You could also use like fresh basil, fresh parsley. Again, we're doing it cheap, we're doing it lazy. You could also do oregano. I'm just doing Italian seasoning because that's all I have right now. So that's what I'm gonna do. And we're gonna add some bay leaves, okay? Just a couple of bay leaves. Gonna really add extra flavor in there. Let's give this a mix. And now you guys, we're gonna bring this to a boil, and when it comes to a boil, we're just adding one more ingredient and then it's essentially done, okay? So easy, so simple. And we're just gonna wait for this to come to a boil. It's gonna take a while because, you know, it's a big pot. Okay. All right, you guys, so as you can see, this has come to a nice boil. What we're gonna do now is add the final, well, kind of final touch, which is gonna be, in my case, orzo. Okay, orzo is actually a pasta. It kind of looks like rice though. It looks like long grains of rice, but it's actually pasta. I'm gonna add orzo. Another option, which was my initial preference, was pearl barley, which would be great in this soup, or fregola pasta, which kind of looks like pearl barley, but it's another type of pasta. Or you could just skip this altogether. You don't even have to add this, okay? Again, I'm using orzo, but you can use pearl barley or fregola or really any type of pasta. Okay, here we go. We're gonna add that in here and we're just gonna mix it. And now we just let this cook. I'm gonna let this come to a boil again and then just let it simmer until everything's cooked. That simple, okay? This is so easy, so budget friendly, so nutritious, high in protein, low calorie, just everything you could want in life, okay? Okay. I have now been boiling this, or simmering it really, for about 20-ish minutes. And I think it's basically ready. Okay, so I'm just gonna take out the bay leaves. Take those out, because they've done their job. Now, you can enjoy it like this, or if you have a bag of spinach in the fridge that is about to go bad, because I know you do, we can just throw in some greens, okay? And the beauty of this is that you can basically add in whatever veggies you want to add into this soup. It's a great way to use up the veggies that might be just sitting in your fridge, not getting much love, you know? So again, it's fantastic. It's a great way to just have a lot of veggies. Nutrient packed here. And as you can see, the soup has thickened up quite a bit thanks to the orzo and the starch from the potatoes as well. Fold in the baby spinach. And you can also do kale. You could do whatever, okay? Now, one thing we're gonna do that I love to do to any sort of soup, not any sort of soup, but a lot of the soups that I make, is add in either lime juice or lemon juice. Now, I have lime, I have this thing of lime that I basically do need to use. You could also just, you know, get store-bought lemon juice, you know. I'm just gonna squeeze it here, and what this is gonna do is, this is really gonna bring out extra flavor. This part is totally optional, but I love doing this at the end, because it really, again, adds tons of flavor to the soup without you having to add a ton more salt or anything like that. Before I add any additional salt, I like to try to add some sort of lemon or lime juice to bring out those flavors, okay? So I'm just gonna squeeze this lime juice here. Ooh, look at that, you guys. I mean, come on. That looks pretty good. If I may say so, looks pretty good. Let's give this a little taste, shall we? See, I don't need to add much else. Lime juice really brought out that flavor. Let's try with a little bit of a potato. It's so good. Now the beauty of this is that you can eat it right away, it's delicious, but it's gonna be even better the next day, or after a few hours. Perfect for meal prep. Okay, that's so good. look at this bowl of longevity right over here, okay? So this is my take on the Sardinian Minestrone. Let's officially give it a proper taste. Ooh la la. It's so good. So healthy, so good. Apparently the Melis family, they eat this with some sourdough bread and a glass of red wine. I wish I had some sourdough bread. I wish I had some red wine. I don't have those, but that's one great way to enjoy this. One thing to note about the blue zones and longevity and all that stuff is there is definitely an importance in diet, right? Diet is very important, okay? Hands down, diet is very important, and all blue zones do follow a predominantly heavily plant-based diet. Maybe one of them has a fully plant-based diet, but like majority of them are mostly heavily plant-based, but not fully. But they do eat a wide variety of plants and things like that. Lots of beans, that's a huge thing. What I think is really important to note is that all of them did everything kind of without thinking about it. It just happened naturally, and I think that's what makes it actually work, you know? They weren't sitting there in their homes like figuring out, okay, this is the method, this is the, you know, equation, this is the blueprint on how to live long. They were just living their lives in the way that they were taught traditionally, and all of those kind of led to greater health outcomes. So for example, like a lot of them exercised naturally as part of their natural routine. I think in Sardinia, there's a lot of hills and stuff, so people have to walk, you know, up and down these hills. So naturally, everybody's walking more, they're exercising more. So they're not just spending hours at a gym, they're just naturally getting in the exercise without even thinking about it, you know? And another really important aspect was the relationships that they had, which is a huge indicator of longevity and happiness, the quality of the relationships. I think all these communities have really, really strong family bonds, neighborly bonds, just like really strong interpersonal relationships, which is a huge importance when it comes to longevity and health. So I think it's important to understand that it's not just about a healthy diet, although a healthy diet is very important. That's just one factor in your health measurement, okay? If you're following a healthy diet, but you're stressed all the time and not getting enough sleep, and if you're getting enough sleep and you have really good relationships, but you're following a really, really crappy diet, again, probably not gonna be super healthy. So you have to have a balance. And I think what these blue zones are really good at doing, again, very naturally without even thinking about it, they're very good at having a balance of all of those health indicators and just living just kind of this very easily attainable life for them anyways, not for other people living in other parts of the world. Ugh. So sometimes I'm just like, is living in a certain area of the world, like a certain city or region, is that the biggest indicator of longevity? Sometimes I wonder this, because if you think about it, we're social creatures, right? And not only are we social creatures, we are just really heavily influenced by our environment, what's around us. When you live in an area that, you know, you kind of have to walk around because maybe there's no cars or it's all just like walking culture, everyone's eating predominantly plant-based, people greet each other on the street and you meet your neighbors, that's part of the culture. People don't live this like really fast-paced lifestyle, everyone's kind of slow and intentional with their living. They eat, you know, what they grow, things like that. If you live in that world, you're probably gonna end up living like them, you know what I'm saying? It's just kind of like the way of things, and then you end up becoming healthier. I feel like that's probably the most important indicator when it comes to your longevity and health is A, who you surround yourself with, and the environment. And the reason why a lot of us are not very healthy, the reason why a lot of us struggle to, you know, maintain a healthy lifestyle is because of our surroundings. It's very difficult when everyone around you is living this like, you know, very unhealthy lifestyle. To follow a healthy lifestyle, it's an uphill battle. Anyways, that's just a little food for thought. But, you know, we can only do as much as we can do. So start with this Sardinian Minestrone. It is delicious, comforting, nutritious, easy, so cheap, okay? Meal prep friendly, freezer friendly. What more could you ask for? Hope you guys enjoyed this recipe. Let me know down below what your thoughts are on blue zones, longevity, What do you think of what I just said? Let me know if you guys want the full recipe for this. I'll link my recipe below. Obviously, this is just my take on the Sardinian minestrone. I'll also link my other Blue Zone inspired recipes below as well. So hopefully you guys check those out. And that's pretty much it, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you give this video a big thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe to this channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!